Should probably rebuild that thing before winter's over. All right, so if you guys have missed this is the cylinder in the WABCO that opens the belly and pushes the, kind of the emptier forward in the pan to knock all the dirt out of the pan, when you're unloading. So the story goes, for years, they were building a golf course when they, had this. That's why they bought it, was to move dirt for the golf course, late 80s, early 90s kind of. So this would crack right here, and this would start leaking, and my grandpa, who was in charge, kind of said, no, we don't have time to take it out and weld it. Just go in there and just put some weld on it. Well, years later, let's see. Hey, come on down here. Years later, there's probably a solid 3/4 of an inch by an inch, so that's literally all 6013 rod on there. We've also got some nice brass on this fitting, although I'm pretty sure there's rubber in that compression fitting, so I'm not really sure how that works. So once we got the WABCO open, Bill, the guy who ran it and did all the welding, said, there is one thing that you guys should do, Tyler. You should rebuild the cylinder. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to tear this thing down. We took it out in, I think, like part 3 or something. I'll post a link to that video up here at the top of the screen. So I'm going to tear it down. This seal right here is going to, you can kind of see the packing, and then you can see it weeps out there. Right now you can kind of see. So it's time for a full rebuild. I'm going to tear it down. That's what we'll do today. And then I might grind this and V this out and bring it over to my buddy. He's a welder. Weld that up, or if we're lucky, we'll find a lathe that we can actually V that out on. But first things first, we got to tear it down and get some seals ordered. Oh. The haters would say that this seal is fine and that it hasn't exceeded its mean time between failures, so that instead of just blanket replacing everything, all I should do is just replace what needs to be replaced. But I'm just gonna do what iFixit would do and just replace everything, Alright, that might work. So for this line, I'm probably going to have to bend a new one up. But there's really nothing in there. I'll take this off and show you guys. We have a vise. Oh, come on. Yes. Why wouldn't it be way too tight? Oh. Just a flare fitting, just probably a 37 degree or whatever. So we'll go ahead and try and make up a new line like this. You can see this one's kind of seen better days anyways. That'll be kind of fun. now we have to find some way of splitting it. It looks like it already cracked a little bit actually. So, dare I put a tiny bit of pressure on the back? Yes. That was a letdown. Oh wait. Woo! Everything looks pretty good. The bore looks great. Maybe a tiny mark or two on the bore. I'm not really gonna touch that. I'm just here to make sure we get that weld fixed up nice. That's interesting. There's a little end cap down there. And then we'll obviously put new seals on it while we're at it. So. Alright, so we're torn down pretty good. I'm going to get some calipers. I'm going to measure this bore. I got to figure out if I'm going to grind that weld out or if we're going to find a lathe to turn this on. I should know that in another day or two. I got to get like a 3-inch wrench or something to take that off. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun actually. That could be a nightmare. And then the other thing I got to do is I got to get some seals. So I have those 2 swivel components. I gotta figure out what size all these flares are because I might just end up ordering new swivels. And then we've got like an O-ring here. I'm gonna start taking inventory of this stuff. So really it's pretty simple. There's those 2 swivel things. We've got flares on the lines that we could, redo. So I'll redo these lines. Got this fitting back here. There's an O-ring on. We're gonna need. So I need an O-ring for that guy. That's how that seals. But these are all going to be like standard SAE or JIC stuff. So then for the main cylinder, all I have is this big O-ring here. I'll be able to measure that groove to figure out what that is. And then I've got a wiper seal in there. That might be kind of fun to find that. And then I've got 2 seals here. So these are just going to kind of pop out like that. It's kind of interesting too. You can see there is a little bit of damage on it. That's kind of why that's pretty rough, I think. You can see right there. See that cut in the O-ring groove? So I'll get all this stuff off, and then I'm just gonna order everything at McMaster. I'm betting that they have everything, so that's what we'll do next. We'll order everything. We'll try and get that guy off. That sucker's gonna be gnarly to get off. It's like a 2-inch fine thread lock nut. Five feet long, forged. Okay. I need some technology. Alright, we're gonna see if the dogs can find her. Ooh. Alright, hey, sit. Sit. You guys wanna see Mom? Go get her! Oh, I don't know. Where is she? Oh, yeah, let's just walk in circles. Nope, she's not inside. I promise you that. SMH. Okay, alright, she's not upstairs. We know that now. No, she's not in there. Alright, this is embarrassing. You guys are on. No, she's not in there. Come on, go.
Ah, she got me. Daddy cheated. He cheated.
The Nut Buster. 2 3/4. This thing's got to be like 1,800 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, so I had a hypothesis that this was split, and that's how this seal came out. But clearly that is not the case, because as you can see, that is solid. So I took that off for absolutely no reason. So let's see. There's one seal. I don't think this is just like a soft rubber. That's what I don't get. There's like one, well, there's a couple spots that it looks like it could have been like welded together.
You want to eat?
Yeah. I didn't need to take this off.
Why?
I don't know. I thought that's how I got the seal out. Oh! So there's another seal under here. Oh, this one's rubber. That one will come out. Alright. Oh, I did have to take that off. Thank God. Good news. We're not losing our minds, y'all. Gonna have to get a new lock nut. That's funny, those threads are single pointed, which you don't see. Gonna have to get a new lock nut, because if that ever came loose, that would be kind of a catastrophic fail for that cylinder. So now we can see in there basically all that's in there is just like a packing, they call it. So we'll drive, I believe we'll drive this out from the back, or we'll knock it out from the back somehow. Whew. Got everything apart. There's 3 seals for the piston right here. Got the wiper seal. This is like the seal for the rod. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. And then there's just like a couple seals for the lines. I'm going to try and also see if they make like a rebuild kit for these, because these are leaking a little bit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seals in those. So if they can get that, I'm gonna go get some seals. We still have to weld this up, so I'm gonna hack some of that weld off with the angle grinder. I'd like to get that spacer out, and maybe we can get it on the lathe, weld it up real nice. And then I'm gonna clean up that bore with the hone real good. I gotta clean this up a little bit too. Oh, there's a seal I forgot. I better take that off and add that. Got it ground out pretty nice. We can make more 6013s rods out of that someday. So there you can see. So now I have to, it's cracked pretty bad actually. It's kind of funny. You can kind of see all the way around. I'm not really sure why. I wonder if they just didn't put the best weld on it from the factory. These look pretty good, but maybe they didn't V that out. So now I am going to V it out. You can kind of see my tube's probably like 3/8 wall, so I'm going to try and go about, maybe 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch deep V. So that way we can lay a nice bead in there, and depending on what the welding guys think, maybe lay like a root pass and then a nice weave over it. So I think I'm just going to take my cutoff tool and just kind of V that out a little bit the best I can. No kidding. Oh. That is like best case scenario. Way better than I thought it could have ever went. It looks like that was all welded or something at some point, but no matter. Now, good news is I can get this out, which means I'll be able to hone the whole way down. Clean that out good. I can put a real nice bevel on all this stuff. Drop the cap back in. Oh wow, okay, you can see the original chamfer right there. Drop the cap back in, we'll burn in real nice and should be better than spec. Whoa! Yikes! Oh man, that's pretty nice. Definitely went a little big on the chamfer down there, but I'm not welding it, I don't care. We're giving the old the Rebel the beans. It's not quite cut out for this. We're gonna take this root pass, well what, this is your third pass?
Yeah.
We're gonna take 3 passes because we don't have a positioner and we don't want it to leak when we get back in, but we might go over the top with 1 big pass, just because I took quite a bit out, probably more than I need to. Goodness. Goodness. Right there. Yeah, you can see, well I can see, you might not be able to see it. Those scratches are deep, deep, deep. I don't know if I'll ever get those out, and then there's a couple more, but I mean it's good enough for the task at hand. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't even have any like vertical motion, this, just the gate. So I'm not gonna hold on it forever. So this split ring is the first thing that's gotta go back in. And I'll probably actually mess up the bore when I throw this in, but it's okay. That looks good. You guys want to rebuild the cylinder? that, unfortunately, I noticed a seal in here. Alright. One. And there's this guy. First, there's that little plastic dude. Little guy first. That's not where you go. You go on there? Okay. A little bit of boogerage. Must be some sort of spring or something, I don't know. Whew. There. Look at that. One for a snap ring. Yeah, look at that. Rebuilt that for probably $10. One more. So when I was putting this over top, I just shredded these little plastic, these are backup O-rings.
Come here. Come here. You gonna help? You gonna help? Okay. Yeah, now we get it done.
No, she doesn't know. So these are plastic backup O-rings, it calls. These are actually different than what was on there, but this is fine. So it says install on the low pressure side of the system for a backup O-ring. So what that means is my pressure is obviously going to be in here, right? So low pressure. This is just like a dirt seal or whatever. So this will be to the outside. Hopefully, I'm going to throw it on this time. I don't shred it. I did, if you guys look back in the video. So now, the other part I forgot to get from Zakhoff was this backup O-ring. So again, if you kind of look, there's a dome or a circular shape to that side. This side's flat. Backup O-ring, this is called. So again, it goes on the low pressure side of the system. So we'll put this one on. Then I got the right one from those guys. That looks good. So this is a cylinder packing seal, they call it. 2 components, the rubber backup ring at the bottom, and then this, it's like a plastic ring at the top. And this was, again, just something I got from Zach off. The guy knew exactly what. I did ask him how to get this ring over top in typical old guy fashion. He said very carefully. And I said, wow, awesome, thanks. It's just all gonna work perfectly now. He said it will stretch just enough, just a little bit. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh, come on. Wow. I think it actually went on okay. You know, like? Actually looks pretty good. But I know I'm gonna have a good time getting it in there. So the other groove on this, is for this wear ring, they call it. So this, I didn't get a new one of these because they couldn't really find one for me. So all this does is just stops the cylinder from kind of slapping against the bore in there. It tries to keep it centered, things like that, so that these seals wear nice. So this is nice and easy. We use the old one, even though it does have some wear on it. And then this is gonna go like so. And now we got to get the nut buster to put this nut back on. Alright, we got everybody's favorite massive impact gun back. The one thing that I'm actually worried about that could happen to this is if this nut ever backed off while it was inside the cylinder. That would be pretty catastrophic, and I would have to take it apart. If it leaks or something, that's fine. We'll deal with that. So I'm actually going to throw a decent amount of Loctite on there. And then we're going to go ahead and run this guy down. Need my herbal tea. It's the middle of March and it just decided to be, actually it's the end of March and it just decided to be 28 degrees out today. Okay, why are you going that way? Alright, I have one idea. much, just enough to get that cap in. Alright, I think we're done with the vacuum. Oh, I forgot what way that's supposed to go. Before I did that. You go about like so. Either just, I don't know. Yeah. Seasons change, but the backlog of projects never goes away. I think the hardest part of this entire project was finding someone to make me this bent tube, even in Metro Detroit. You'd think there'd be a million people that can do that. I even went so far as to buy a die for my tubing bender and try and make it. But then the guy that I had that I thought could flare it for me couldn't flare it. It was too thick a tubing to flare for it. So I finally found a guy, Spike Controls, Custom Controls and Tubing or something like that in Metro Detroit. Look them up if you guys need a bent tube. Did a phenomenal job on this, but it did cost me $125 in labor. Plus I provided materials. So the idea is that you get that as close as you can, then you use that lock nut there to get your orientation. So the guy, I forget what his name was there, gave me an interesting piece of information. He said he's been making hard tubes like this forever. He said put a dab of blue Loctite on this face and that'll help it seal. Not on the threads, on the face. So I figured why not? So if you put red on it, you have a hard time getting it off. Which I don't think we'll ever rebuild this cylinder again. If this cylinder doesn't work, it's going to the scrapyard. Oh, come on. Hey! Go through the other side. I'm tempted to leave this in real time so you guys can see that I've been messing with this for 20 minutes. There. All right, so there it is, the completed cylinder. Please ignore the mess on the bench as I was trying to figure out this bent tube here, which was bent, but not perfect. I dove heavily into the bodywork / restoration on this thing. It's looking pretty good. If you guys want to see some more content on this, let me know. Got the inside all soundproofed. Getting ready to maybe lay my top coat and my clear this weekend. Anyways, a couple notes about this thing, guys. So I did order a couple miscellaneous parts from McMaster-Carr just because I messed up a couple things, missed a couple things like you guys saw. But the bent tube, I told you guys where I got that. Everything else I got from Zatkoff Seals and Packings. I believe it's kind of a Michigan-based thing, but I'm sure they sell everywhere. You can see the things down there. So actually what I did, I didn't cover this in the video as I was editing it. I kind of noticed that. I basically took all my seals there in this box and in a rag, even literally with crumblings of packing seal right there. You can see all these seals I took in. My old cylinder packing seal. This one that I deformed and everything. I took all this stuff in there in a box, dropped it off, and the next day the guy called me and said, hey, you know, I've got this in stock. I've got to order this from this branch. So I literally went in, dropped everything off, and they had it just in a couple days. So if you guys are ever in a situation like that and you don't have a Zatkoff, although if you're in the Midwest, Zatkoff would be your go-to place. Just take it. I'm sure there's a shop around there that does, a shop around you that does stuff like that. That was probably the best service, and that was what made this thing entirely possible. Because if I was looking, McMaster-Carr didn't even have a lot of this stuff, and you're looking at places online. And that rod seal that came out in a million pieces, I'm not really sure what I would have done with that because I guess you can measure the groove and stuff. But that was an awesome service. So that was the biggest thing I came away with on this project was that, you know, really if you're going to have to rebuild just a simple cylinder like this, we've got a little bit of, you know, cutting and welding. You could have a little bit of machining to do, but I just used a basic engine hone. You know, I hired out the stuff that I couldn't do, and then you just go to a place like Zatkoff and they give you all the seals. So now I got to get this in the Jeep somehow. I need like the equivalent of a human crane to come and lift that. I don't know how I'm going to do that. It's heavy. Don't have a Kubota here. Other than that, that's it for this video, guys. I have more than enough content on this video. I think it's going to be entertaining enough. You know, it's probably 35, 40 minutes. So next video on the WABCO, we'll actually throw it in. Check the cylinder if it works, because remember, I haven't tried this. I don't know if it could blow up in my face or something like that. So we'll throw the cylinder on, see if it works. That'll be part 5 of the WABCO, I'm guessing. And I will see, I don't know, I can't make any promises, but I'll see if we can talk my dad into at least loading up like 1 load of dirt with it. The problem is we don't really have any dirt we need to move right now. We need like a pond or something that we can dig with this thing. But I'm thinking that we might be able to find something just to make sure everything works and give you guys a taste of the WABCO running, right? So thank you to all you guys that have watched this video. Since I made the original WABCO video, and actually even since I started the cylinder, literally went through like a roller coaster of emotions. The video had like 200 views or something. And since then, it's blown up. Today it's probably 155,000 views. So in the time that I've rebuilt the cylinder, I was actually thinking about not even posting a video on this, to being like, wow, the people want to see more WABCO. So if there's anything else you guys want to see, this is the first current video since all the newers have joined on. Thanks to all you guys for watching that video and blowing it up. You know, make sure you guys watch this one, share it with whoever you like. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more WABCO stuff. Other than that, again, I'm shocked, I'm humbled, but it's really been fun. I enjoy doing stuff like this, and I think it's fun to watch too. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you next time when we install the cylinder and we see if we can finally use the WABCO for the first time.